something. Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George. If this is your first time here, please subscribe and hit the thumbs up button for me. And if you've been here before and haven't subscribed, please come on, join into the Knicks-Verse. We are going to be talking Knicks all summer long. And man, we're going to be talking for a year because this team has a destiny aspect to it, even though they still don't have a coach yet. But there was significant movement today. I was on Knicks Fan TV discussing it with CP himself, who actually is the most tapped in source right now with the Knicks and what's going on with the coach search. Mike Brown has moved up. He has actually impressed a lot of people in the Knicks front office, and he now has advanced himself to the point where he's being seriously considered, and the Knicks might have a new coach within a week to 10 days. They want to have a coach before Summer League. But Jenkins is still going to get interviewed. We haven't gotten a confirmation if he had the second interview. They interviewed Borrego. They were impressed with Nori. So there's a lot of developments. They even asked to interview Dawn Staley. So who knows what's happening in totality, but at least there's movement. But today, something did finally break. Today was the first day of free agency. It's only been around about 5 hours or so, and we just found out breaking news. According to Chris Haynes and Shams, they're all reporting it. Free agent guard Jordan Clarkson from the Utah Jazz, who was recently bought out of his contract, intends to sign with the New York Knicks upon clearing waivers, league sources told him. So we're going to look at him. I am not ecstatic about this signing, but the thing I am ecstatic about, he's willing to take the vet minimum to play for the Knicks. And he had a pretty nice deal with Utah. He signed I can't remember the actual numbers for, he had a 2-year contract. He was bought out, so he's already been paid for next season. So he'll take the vet minimum, come to the Knicks. He will be the major scoring punch off the bench. How will that affect Deuce? We'll talk about that. Campaign, I don't think he will be returning to the Knicks. And Jordan Clarkson will be getting the campaign minutes. And in that respect, he is an improvement over him. But I do have some reservations. Mostly the reservations are due to his lack of defense and his age. He's 33 years old. He just turned 33 in June. You know, he was a Gemini like me, so I like that. But he's been trending in the wrong direction in the last 4 seasons. If you look at this, his on-off stats are going down. Now, you might think, oh, well, he's playing for a terrible team, Utah Jazz, which he was, a team that was tanking. They were hoping to get Cooper Flagg. It didn't work out for them. But look at this. In 21-22, which was a good season for the Jazz, the on-off numbers when Clarkson was on the court per 100 possessions, when he was on the court, the Utah Jazz outscored their opponent by 8.5 points. When he was off, they outscored him by 5.1 points. So that's a plus 3.4 swing. So that's good. It's a positive thing. But here's where the problem is. In the last 4 years, his on-off has trended in the wrong direction. We need the scoring punch off the bench is much needed. We need that. He's probably outscored the Knicks bench all by himself, the Knicks bench from last season. It would be nice, but his shot selection has to improve, and so does his defense. And I'll show you those numbers as well. And in 22-23, when he was on the court, the Jazz were a plus 0.7, so almost 1 point per game better per 100 possessions. But when he was off, they were a minus 2.5, so he had a positive impact there. That's a plus 3.2. So it went from a plus 3.4 to a plus 3.2. And then in 2023 and 24, when he was on the court, they were a minus 6.3. When he was off, they were a minus 4.9. So that means going down, totally wrong direction. They were better when he was off the court than when he was on the court, and that did not improve last season. And he only played 37 games last season. Injuries. When he was off the court, they were outscored by 8.9 points per 100 possessions, and when he was on the court, they were outscored by 10 points. So let's hope that coming to New York will reinvigorate him. And the fact that he wants to come to New York I'm sure he could get signed by some other team, and maybe for a little more than the vet minimum, because he was a sixth man of the year off the bench for the Jazz before. He's a microwave scorer. He can hit you 2, 3, 4 3-pointers in a row at times, but lately that's been trending in the wrong direction, and it might be tied to age and injury. That's the concern here. But as I wrote down at the bottom there of this tweet, vet minimum is the right price. For the vet minimum, I'm fine with it. If the new coach doesn't stick with him, when he's not giving you what we need. That was the main concern with Thibs all along. Like, he'll stick with a guy longer than he should, and he'll ignore a guy that he should not ignore for way too long. So let's hope that the new coach is a little more open-minded about those things. And one thing, if Mike Brown does become the coach, think about this. Malik Monk was a guy off the bench, a decent scorer, but, he really hadn't done much with his career until Mike Brown became his coach with the Sacramento Kings. And then he took off. Maybe he can actually tweak the situation for Jordan Clarkson and revert him back to the productive player that he was in those early years with the Utah Jazz. That's the hope. And you know what? At the vet minimum, it's totally worth the gamble. The one thing, though, is... Man, what he was last season was quite, it was interesting. So much so that Mike Breen, listen to him. Listen to Mike Breen talk about Jordan Clarkson right here. Oh, hey, what happened? I had him all set up. Here it is. There it is.
Some very questionable shots from Jordan Clarkson. This is the largest lead for the Knicks. Clarkson once again gets it and shoots it. Ball poked away. Clarkson just heaving him up there. He has taken some bad shots here in the first half.
He has.
Clarkson's going to shoot, no question about it. Comes up short. Hart the rebound. And fourth of the season. And the crowd aware of it. Clarkson steps back, throws up a brick. Clarkson missed a lot of dribbling tonight. Clarkson on Shamet.
Man. That
some
was
very
rough.
Questionable shots from Jordan Clarkson.
That was rough. When you consider, man, that was rough. So let's hope that this is behind him and he can give us that scoring punch that we haven't had off the bench like when we had Emmanuel Quickley. We need that. And Clarkson has long been coveted by the Knicks. It's possible that he could straighten himself out. And it could have been the injuries. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. It wasn't my top choice. Gary Trent Jr. would have been more interesting to me, especially for the vet minimum. But when you are dealing in these low numbers, when you're bargain hunting, you have to, basically take what you can get. And at this point, the man definitely can give you a bucket. So I'm going to be optimistic and open-minded about it, but he definitely would not have been my top choice. That is absolutely for sure. But the main reason really is because his three-point shot, even though last season though spiked up, but he has been a less than 32% three-point shooter for the 3 years previous to last season. And last season, he only played 37 games. So let's hope. Here, I'll show you those stats right now. So here we go. So he did average 16.2 points per game, about 3.2 rebounds, almost 4 assists per game. He did turn 33, so he's getting up there in some age. And for small guards, that happens sometimes. Their efficiency dwindles. As you can see, in 2024-25, last season, he only shot less than 41%. But he did shoot 36.2% from the three-point line, which is his best since the 2019 and 2020 season. So that's a positive. He shot almost 80% from the free throw line, but he was a minus 5.5 in a plus-minus overall. In 2023-24, he was under 30% from the three-point line. And that year, he played 55 games. He shot 29.4% from the three-point line. So that's concerning. But the positive thing is that he made a nice, almost a 7 percentage point leap from the 2023 to 2024-25. So that is a good thing. Maybe that's what he's settled in on that. Maybe he's tightened up his shot selection. That is the hope at this point. But when you look at the seasons before that, in 22-23, he shot under 34%. In 21-22, he shot under 32%. You have to go back to 2020 and 21 for him to even be close to 35%. Man, you know, it's an interesting signing. Not thrilled, but he definitely is an improvement over campaign when you think about it that way. If he gets the campaign minutes, I like this signing in terms of the potential upside. You know, he could get revamped here. He could be reinvigorated. New York is an exciting city. He's a fashionista, this guy. He might really enjoy living in, you know, a metropolitan city. You know, I mean, Salt Lake is pretty, but, you know, come on, it's Salt Lake City. You know, no offense to Salt Lake City, but, you know, when guys are into certain things in their lives and they don't present that to you in the city you're playing in, and you're playing for a team that's tanking, it can definitely impact your efficiency. And that's, I think, what we've seen. But the defense is a big concern for me. You can see here his defense, he had a 117.5 defensive rating last year. A 107.5 offensive rating. This is just himself. And the year before that, his defensive rating was 119.7. You have to go back to 2021-22 when he was with Rudy Gobert for his defensive rating to be something nice, which is 107.0. And the year before that was 108.0. So it did benefit him to be playing with a Rudy Gobert, which, interestingly, if no major moves and Mitch Robinson stays with the Knicks, Mitch, to me, is very similar to Rudy Gobert. In fact, sometimes I think he's better. He's a better defender than Rudy Gobert. Much more mobile, agile, and I think he'll be in better conditioning next season than he even was this season. He'll have recovered fully from his injury, so that could help him plug up some holes. But he'll be coming off the bench. Also, he'll probably be playing with Huck Porty if Mitch starts next to Cat. Huck Porty will be getting those minutes because the Knicks did exercise his option to bring him back, and they rejected the player option for PJ Tucker. So that's the moves that have been happening of late. I just hope that Clarkson embraces this move, and it seems like he wants to be here, and he applies himself on the defensive end the way he loves to score on the offensive end, but applies himself on the defensive end and just minimizes the chucking. Too much chucking. Can't have that. Cannot have that. Do I think this is the last move the Knicks will make? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. One thing before I get to this, I do want to get back to this. Sorry about this. Here's another reason that I was concerned about him. He has his career records on all the teams he's been on is 304 wins to 449 losses. Now, a lot of that was in the beginning when he was with the Lakers in that 2014-15 season, which ironically was with Josh Hart, and I think Randall was even on that team. They had a 186 winning percentage that first season. His second season, they had a 21.5 winning percentage. I mean, it's just a lot of losing. But then he went to Cleveland, picked it up a little bit, and he ended up with Utah in 2020-21. They were 49-19, and so he had a taste of winning in the NBA. Unfortunately, it tilted the wrong way as the years went on in Utah, and they traded away Donovan Mitchell. And recently, I mean, they 10-27 last season, 22-33 the season before, and he was just shy of 500 in the season before that in 22-23, 30-31. So he has had some experience with a winning team, winning culture, but the majority of his career has been in losing franchises. So that's somewhat a concern, but there is hope. And look. I trust this front office when it comes to player evaluation, player talent. Walt Perrins is a phenomenal player evaluator. Leon himself, Worldwide Wes, Brock Aller. He's more of a salary cap guy, but I really have tremendous faith in their ability to evaluate talent. And if they believe he will help the Knicks, then I'm on board. That's basically how I feel about this signing. But there is a little more. This. Ian Begley tweeted this out. Actually, it was in an article that he posted on SNY. He said, I think the Knicks will also at least check in on Al Horford's situation. As an aside, Horford has a close relationship with Karl Anthony Towns. Look at little baby Towns right there next to Al Horford. They both come from the Dominican Republic. They have family from there. That is an important aspect. But the problem is, this was also tweeted out by Michael Scotto. Al Horford has received interest from several contending teams since the start of free agency, including the Boston Celtics, Golden State Warriors, New York Knicks, Denver Nuggets, Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Los Angeles Lakers, league sources told Hoops Hype. All right, if there's this much competition for the Knicks to acquire Al Horford, who I think would be an excellent addition to this roster. He's a winning player. He's still a good defender, a very good defender. He's long. He can shoot the three. He gives you shot blocking. He's been on a championship team. He understands how to win, and he has a close relationship with Towns. It might be that Towns could be the tipping point that tips Al Horford our way. And he agrees to, I don't even know what kind of a contract situation, but at this point, he's made a lot of money in his career. And if he wants to be in contention and win another chip, the Warriors are interesting on this list. The Celtics, I don't know why they put that under as contending teams. Celtics are not going to contend next season. They've already conceded that. They traded away Kristaps. They traded away Drew Holiday. They were looking to move Derek White. So I don't know why he included it that way. But the Warriors, if they acquire some interesting pieces, they could compete. The Nuggets, they took OKC to Game 7 in the playoffs, and they just traded Michael Porter Jr. to the Nets for Cam Johnson, but they also got salary relief. They saved like $14-something million there, and they signed Bruce Brown Jr. He's going back to the Denver Nuggets. He was there with them when they won it all. So they basically traded away MPJ to bring in Cam Johnson and Bruce Brown. The Nuggets could be an interesting team next season in the West. The West is stacked. So that's another thing. If the West is stacked, do you want to go to the Nuggets? I don't know. Horford likes the East. So the other team right there, I see. Well, the Lakers is also a potentiality. They're always a potentiality if LeBron stays in Los Angeles. And Theo Pinson, our guy Theo, he tweeted out today, Bron is leaving LA. That's all he said. So he might be going to Cleveland. So maybe then Al Horford does go to Cleveland. We'll see. Because if you want to win a chip next season, there are two teams in the East that the Hawks have done a lot to improve their chances. They definitely have. They have had a great offseason, and I'll discuss that at a later date. But at this moment, I'm going to focus on the two teams that are serious contenders. And though Vegas changed the odds today and put the Knicks as the favorite to win the East today. So the Cavs and the Knicks, they could duel it out for Al Horford. But I have a feeling that this relationship that he has with Karl Anthony Towns, if the money is just enough, it doesn't have to be like wow him, maybe he signs with the Knicks. That is what I'm hoping for. I would love that signing. That would be fantastic. I would consider Clarkson, Horford as a very, I would give it an A free agent signings in combination. Clarkson for the potentiality that he might revert back to being that sixth man of the year type player that he was with Utah, and he ups his efficiency. And like I said before, he benefits from playing with better defenders behind him. And then Al Horford, man. Al Horford, I've always loved Al Horford, and I never thought he could ever be a Knick, but this would be fantastic. And I think it would really be nice for Karl Anthony Towns to play with his mentor. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. If any big news breaks out, I'll be jumping on. I hope you guys catch the live that I did with CP and Alex today. That was a lot of fun to be on there while the news was breaking out. And I will be going live at some point this week, and we will be discussing the entire Eastern Conference and reviewing how the Knicks did last season. All right, thank you so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. Please subscribe, follow me on social media, hit the thumbs up button for me, and drop your comments. Definitely want to hear your thoughts and feelings about the signings and other potential signings, and give me some other ideas for Knicks free agents or possible trades. I do believe there will be a trade for the Knicks. I do believe that. All right, I will see you around the Knicks-Verse. Let's go.